Hi everyone, my name is Cody Bullard, and this is Tori.
And today, Cody had some questions about what the seasons are, how they work, why we have the seasons, when the seasons actually change, and he was also wondering what the differences were between the northern and southern hemispheres. So today I'm going to explain that to him. So why do you think we have the seasons?
I think the seasons occur because during winter the earth is much further away from the sun than it is during the summer.
That's actually a really common misconception, but it's false. Actually, the seasons occur because the earth is constantly on its axis on a 23.5 degree tilt. So at some times, the northern hemisphere is experiencing more direct sunlight than the southern hemisphere. So that's when we experience more warm temperatures, when we have more direct sunlight. So actually the seasons are summer, fall, winter, and spring, and each is marked by a solstice or an equinox. And do you want me to show you how that works?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Alright, so if we had the sun right here and the earth is right here, right now the northern hemisphere would be experiencing summer because it's on this tilt, and the northern hemisphere is closest to the sun. And the southern hemisphere is farthest away, so it's having winter. And this is called the June solstice. And as the earth rotates around the sun, it continues to stay on this tilt. And so right now, what's happening is both hemispheres are experiencing about the same amount of sunlight, so they both have the more milder seasons, both fall and spring. The northern hemisphere has fall and the southern has spring, and this is called the September equinox. And as we continue to go around the sun, now the southern hemisphere is facing towards the sun and it's having summer, and the northern hemisphere is having winter. And this is called the December solstice. And as we continue to go around the last season right here, once again, both are experiencing about the same amount of sunlight, and it's at a directly sideways angle to the sun. Spring is happening in the northern hemisphere and fall is happening in the southern hemisphere, and this is called the March equinox.
When are these dates? When do these seasons occur?
Well, actually, the March equinox is on March 21st. The June solstice is on June 21st. September equinox is on September 21st. And December solstice is on December 21st. So it's pretty easy to remember if you can just remember 21 and the months they occur in.
Great. Explain to me why areas like San Diego always experience warm weather.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. Because what I explained before really applied to the northern and southern hemispheres. Because they're a lot closer to the top of the circle, and so they experience more variation in direct sunlight, whether they're facing away or towards the sun. However, the equator region is always pretty close to the sun, no matter what angle the Earth's at. So these regions, like you said, are actually called the tropics, and they're marked by the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. The Tropic of Cancer is 23.5 degrees north of the equator, and the Tropic of Capricorn is 23.5 degrees south. So this is the region that experiences more constant temperatures, and it's constantly warm, and they don't really have a winter. And the North and South Pole, on the other hand, kind of have the other problem. They experience more cooler temperatures year-round and more variation. So these regions are actually 66.5 degrees north of the equator and 66.5 degrees south. And the 66.5 degrees north area is actually the Arctic Circle, and the Antarctic Circle is at 66.5 degrees south of the equator. And so they tend to be a lot cooler and experience more variation.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a lot of information for me to remember. Is there any way that you could recap?
That is a lot of information. For a recap, you just need to remember that there's 4 seasons. There's spring, fall, winter, and summer. And the northern and southern regions experience these on opposite time frames. And the seasons only occur because of Earth's constant tilt on its axis, which is 23.5 degrees. And it has nothing to do with the proximity.
Thank you.
You're welcome.